Welcome everybody to today's session, and on today's morning school, we are looking at emotional intelligence. We'll be digging deep into the impact, the importance, the attitudes, the positive results and the negative things that can happen for and against you as a result of your emotional intelligence. And we, of course, are still using my book, 35 Days of Redefining You for Success. And day 24 morning, the key points states, if a person cannot learn to control his or her emotions, they may never achieve their dreams in life. I wish there was a better way, or I could describe in a way that you can really understand the impact of emotional intelligence and how your emotions can either destroy you or make you the most successful person that you can be. There are many people who have lost opportunities. People have lost good relationships. People have lost money. People have lost career dreams and business deals because of weak or poor emotional intelligence. There are marriages going through problems right now because of poor emotional intelligence. There are divorces that have happened because of poor emotional intelligence. I think emotional intelligence is one of those soft skills that we are not yet putting a lot of importance in developing and using it in our daily lifestyle. And if you are going to achieve your dreams, if you're going to succeed and become an industry captain, a successful entrepreneur, then mastering your emotional intelligence remains one of your critical skills that you must understand and use it on a daily basis. And this is one of those skills that I use every day, every moment, like right now, as I am talking to you, I am using emotional intelligence. As you are listening to me, you are using emotional intelligence. Whether you know it or not, it is at play. At work on a daily basis, it is at play. Whether negatively or positively, emotional intelligence is at play. In your marriage, in your house, when you are eating dinner or serving dinner or doing breakfast, whatever, it is always at play. And the people who will become more successful, especially in this dispensation where technology, artificial intelligence, and machine learning and robots are coming into play. Emotional intelligence, the importance of EI keeps on growing every single day, because the more robots and AI keep coming together, human beings need to connect more within and among themselves. That is why there was a research done, and they stated that in the future, or even now, and in the next couple of years, emotional intelligence will be among the top 5 relevant soft skills that employees and entrepreneurs must have. So this is a session that you need to pay attention to and make sure that you grow. And personally, for me, it took me a lot of battling with myself. And that's one thing that you are going to learn about emotional intelligence, or when you start working on it personally as a person, so you become a more emotionally intelligent person, you understand that it will be a battle, because you will start undoing certain lifestyle and and undoing certain ways or cultures that you have developed over time to instill the right ways of living and lifestyle so you can become a more positive, emotionally intelligent being. Okay, so what is emotional intelligence? Let's break it down. When you hear about emotional intelligence, what is it really? Basically, in simple terms, it is your ability as a professional, your ability as an entrepreneur, your ability as a wife, a husband, a colleague, a son, a daughter, whoever, as long as you're a human being, it is your ability to do three things. Three things: to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions first, and then that of others. You recognize your emotions, you understand your emotions, then you manage your emotions. These three things must happen. And that is why the journey to emotional intelligence is a journey, it's a process. We are always on that process. You understand? So you need to recognize your emotions. Like right now, what is the state of your emotion? That's the recognition I'm talking about. What is the state of your emotions right now? Do you really understand what is sponsoring the state of your present emotions? And now, how can you manage it? Yes, your emotions are under your control. You can decide to be angry or you can decide to be happy. You can decide to ignore what somebody has done against you, or you can decide to pay attention to it. You can manage it. And it is the same for other people. So emotional intelligence is two ways. You recognize, understand, and manage your emotions. At the same time, you recognize, understand, and manage the emotions of other people. Let's say, for example, in relationships, in marriages, it is your job to recognize the emotions of your spouse. It is basically dangerous to date somebody and you don't know, you don't recognize their emotions, and you don't understand their emotions, and you don't take steps to understand how to manage their emotions. And you know, this is where certain gestures came in human evolution, where people start on, okay, no one, if she's angry, buy this, do this, say this, and all of that. That's part of managing emotions. But it needs to be more intentional. The recognition must be intentional, because when you recognize, you understand what to do and not to do. You understand the triggers, what triggers the person's emotions in a negative way or in a positive way. You need to understand, recognize it, and then you understand, oh, you see, based on my spouse, I recognize that he or she, these things, blah, blah, blah. You understand this, and you take steps to manage it. Same at the workplace, same with your business partner, same between the boss and the employee, same between co-founders, same between wherever, as long as there is a relationship that exists, there is a platform that brings two human beings together, there must be the need to intentionally recognize the person's emotion, understand detailedly, and intentionally take steps to manage the person's emotions as far as you're concerned as a person. That is emotional intelligence. So it involves you being aware and being in control of your own emotions. And that is the first most important step. Stop trying to control other people's emotions when you don't have yours in charge. Something is wrong. The first phase is you recognizing and controlling your own emotions first. And in a situation where there is a relationship like co-workers, co-business partners, or spouses, or people who are married, you know, when you recognize, understand, and control your emotions, you almost like 50% plus even start solving the emotions of other person. Okay, so it is very important to do that. So you must, when you do that, you can now be able to recognize and respond to the emotions of others in a way that is helpful and appropriate. Now, this is more important. You don't have strong emotional intelligence if anytime you help, anytime you relate with somebody or you respond to somebody's emotions and you cause them more pain and more trouble. That is not emotional intelligence in a good way. You understand? Let's say, for example, you make your spouse angry. You do something and you cause your spouse to be angry. It is your job to recognize, understand, and manage. And that's where you need to respond to her emotions or his emotions in a way that is helpful and appropriate. That is now emotional intelligence. Same at the workplace. You discover that you have done something and your colleague or your boss or you're the boss and your subordinate is angry or is unstable emotionally. It's your job to recognize that you have hurt somebody, recognize that somebody is not happy, then respond. Recognition without responding is wrong. It's not emotional intelligence. So if you recognize that you have made your wife angry and you are not taking steps immediately to respond, that is weak emotional intelligence. You need to go and repent. If you have made your husband angry and you're allowing pride to stop you from responding, you are not emotionally intelligent. Because emotional intelligence is complete when you recognize, understand, then you respond in what? In a helpful and appropriate ways. Sometimes the truth is, like, sometimes when I hear stories of some couple, I'm like, wait, so tell me again, so what is really the problem now? They will explain the thing again, like, but this is just simple emotional intelligence that you can sort it out. Right? Now, from this introduction, who is seeing where they have messed up relationships or certain things because of poor emotional intelligence on their part? Who is seeing that? Don't be shy. Let me know. It could be a work relationship, it could be romantic, could be family. Yeah, family, right? It could be wherever. Good, you see? And many people recognize and allow pride to stop them from responding in a helpful and appropriate way. That's always the big problem. That is always the big problem. That B part. People recognize that this person is not happy. This person is emotionally struggling or damaged because of what they have done. But now, taking action in humility, in honor and respect, to respond in a helpful and appropriate way, pride now sets in. Let me share something personal. There's something I wrote that I told you guys, I've shared with you guys one time that I have a personal mantra of the kind of husband I want to be, and I have it written down. I have a document written down. And one of the things, I've written 3 things that I need to consistently practice towards my wife, which is humility, respect, and honor. So after all analysis personally for me, I noticed that if I constantly treat my wife in humility, always respect her as the Mrs. Javnyuy that she will be or she is. Because I don't think that if you really respect that title on her head, you respect that. That's how I see things, right? My personal analysis and decision making, right? I don't think that if you, I was asking somebody, how do you raise your hand and slap somebody called your wife? Like, I don't understand the process. I don't understand the thinking process that goes through before that even happens. So I don't think if you respect her personality and her place, you can do that. There's a missing link. Then the third thing is honor. Honor. like you honor a king, like you honor a god, like honor your god, like honor somebody you respect. If you truly respect your spouse, the place of honor must always be there, consistently. There's no familiarity in place of honor. No, there is never, if you truly honor somebody, there is never familiarity, never. You always honor that person for her place, for his place, for everything that is there. And honor is a personal decision. And then now the honor starts growing too when the person too start behaving in that capacity. But you don't need to first of all honor because somebody have done something. No, you choose to honor based on what? On your recognition, on what that person carries, on who that person is to you, before even what they do to you. Are we getting the difference? If you honor people based on what they do to you, then something is wrong. That is not true honor. You're a hypocrite. The day they stop giving you honor, money, the honor disappears. The day they stop giving you why you honor them, the money disappears, the honor disappears. And that is not true honor. That is the same like with God. See, whether you honor God or not, he is I am. If you honor him truly, he is I am. If you honor to pretend, he is I am. And that's why there are many people that don't enjoy the move of God or the power of God in their life, because they get to honor God based on what he gives them. The day they are in trouble, they feel as if God has abandoned them. They stop honoring God for who he is. And that is wrong. That's not true honor. That's not true love. That's not true fellowship. In true fellowship, see, in true honor, whatever my wife does against me, no matter how angry I am, the honor stays. The honor stays. If I pray to God for something and he doesn't give, he remains God. Are we getting this? He remains God. The honor stays. The honor is never withdrawn. If it is withdrawn, then the fellowship was never true. Then the love was never authentic. Something is missing between the two. And I think these are things that, as I always say, I think that many divorce happen because I think the dating and all of that, they get it wrong. Personally, for me, I think so. And I think people don't make personal decisions. You get the concept. So then I think that when you now also do from your place and manage your emotions, it also helps the emotions of other people. So now, because your husband did something funny, that's like, oh, stupid man, yeah, man. Where has the honor gone to? Or because whatever your wife has done, that's called very foolish woman. You now shout at her anyhow, in public, in the midst of kids, no place of honor. That place is no longer there. No, I feel you have broken something. You, the person. I'm not saying that the person is perfect. No, you don't do it's not because the person is perfect. No, it's because you have chosen. There is something, there is a standard something that is in play. Right? Good. I don't know how we got there, but I was just trying to explain something deeper. I hope we got what I was trying to explain, but it's way deeper than that. All right, good. Let's continue. So, and one thing about emotional intelligence that is important or makes it important is because you cannot effectively communicate and interact with other people with poor emotional intelligence. Yes, and we're going to see that. We're going to see on the daily habits of people with weak emotional intelligence. It is difficult for you to communicate effectively. It's difficult for you to interact effectively with other people when you don't have good emotional intelligence. Okay? And also, poor emotional intelligence leads to poor decision making. Strong emotional intelligence leads to better decision making. I'm sure like many of you here, you have gotten angry and you have made a decision against somebody and then you regretted later. Just because you don't have the emotional intelligence to put your anger in check. Your anger controls you instead of you controlling your anger. You now took the wrong, poor decision. And just 2 minutes later, 5 minutes later, 10 days later, you start crying and going through the consequences. Weak emotional intelligence leads to weak decision making. Be careful. Be very careful. And that's why I always say, be careful. Don't make decisions when you are very excited. And don't make decisions when you are very angry. I prefer you tell the person to wait. You will think about it. I like to do that a lot. I like to tell myself that a lot. At the minute I tell myself, Joybert, you are not in the right frame of mind to make this decision. And that's why there are many times that sometimes when there's something I need to think about clearly, I set my alarm clock. I wake up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., or 3 a.m. during my normal time, and I think about it with a pen and a paper. Then I come to a conclusion. I'm just waking up from sleep. All emotions are down. I'm waking up fresh. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not thinking about anybody in my heart. I am just pure in my thoughts, pure in my heart. I can now think about that. No emotions controlling me. I am logical. I am using facts, numbers. I am reasoning. I can pray about it. No emotions is in play at that time. Many people are, see, there are many people who are not manifesting their full destiny because of wrong emotional intelligence. Nobody is fighting them. No enemy is fighting them. No family altar is dead. No, even the devil himself is not even after that person, but just their own lifestyle, just their poor emotional intelligence is destroying relationships, destroying decision making, destroying everything around them, but they are not seeing it. And this is something I've seen right from you, even from pastors. See, there was sometimes a pastor behave another way. Are you really a pastor? Funny characters. You see a very anointed man, but weak emotions, dealing with the person squarely. This is something I took time to work on myself personally because I used to know, like coming from a poor, struggling family, you just conclude things quickly and just get angry and just be all of that, just be sad sometimes. You allow your emotions to be in play. Okay, now let's look quickly at daily habits of people with weak emotional intelligence. Are you being challenged? I feel that this is one of those sessions that doesn't excite you. It speaks to your core. I'm not there to excite you. I'm there to cause transformation and to pierce your heart, so that something will change. I hope that is challenging somebody and somebody is making strong decisions here. Good to see that. Now, let's quickly look at, let me just list some daily habits of people with weak emotional intelligence. As I'm going to talk about these daily habits, begin to do a self-analysis. Look at yourself. And there are some that I may not mention and you are manifesting them. I identify them and start a process. I am saying the process because nobody becomes emotionally strong overnight. It will not even take you, even 3 months, you will not succeed. Because some people, you are trying to undo the things you grew up with. Some of you are 30 years and above. You are trying to undo a 30-year-old character. So it's going to take time. It's going to take dedication and intentionality. So it's a process. But one thing about this is immediately you start the journey, you start seeing the result. You start seeing the result. Okay? All right. Number one, the first daily habit of people with weak emotional intelligence is they speak before thinking. They speak before thinking. Something happens, boom, They just jump start talking. No thoughts, no deep analysis, no anything. They just start talking, blah, 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 blah. And then later they're like, what did I just say? Then they start apologizing. They start apologizing. Low emotional intelligent people don't have any emotional filter in their speech. They don't think before they talk, and there's no filter in how they talk. That means they don't know what to speak. They don't know when to speak and where to speak. These kind of people, they just burst anywhere. Let's say, let's say a husband with poor emotional intelligence, they're in a, maybe they go for an event with a wife, and then I don't know, whatever happens, he just busts there and then just start speaking with the wife, or just start, uh, talking with the wife anyhow, or everybody just know that something is wrong. You understand? Yes, that is they don't have filters in how they act and how they speak. Some people don't know what to speak. They just speak anyhow, no thinking, no thoughts. They don't know when to speak at all. There are some people that somebody's very happy. It is that time that you want to bring a complaint. Like, that there's always a social media meme where they will share a picture where a man and a woman, maybe that they're like they're eating, or they're having fun, or doing some romance, and then the girl will just come and ask, who is Larissa? Or who is Vanessa? Or who is Anita? And and just spoil the whole mood at that time. Right? That is there was the fun, there was the relaxation, the family was having fun and everything. It is only at that time that somebody is very happy. There's so much joy in the atmosphere. It is only at that time you now ask, who is Vanessa? Who is Anita? Sorry if anybody's about Anita. I'm just thinking, who is Linda? Who is it? Just who is, and then you just spoil the whole show immediately. Nah. You don't know when to speak. You don't know where to speak. Okay? So if you are here like that, you need to change. Think before you speak. Have some filters in your speech. Don't just talk anywhere, anytime. Even if somebody does something wrong, learn there is a way that you can accommodate and speak in a way can create transformation. Yes, you can discipline, you can do whatever, but do it right. Do it right. I don't believe in correction that takes somebody's honor, especially a certain kind of people, like a husband or a wife correcting each other in a way that takes honor from the person in front of some people. That is wrong. You are doing that, you need to change. You know, it's different for kids. Even some kids, you can emotionally damage some kids. There's a way, there are some things cannot do. There are some things don't do to your kids in the midst of their age group. Don't do that. I'm sure some of you were in school, you know how your parents used to do certain things among your friends. You used to get very angry and mad. You are not angry about what they did. You are angry because it was done among your friends. It minimizes your pamarade, that we used to call it. Is that true? Can somebody respond here? Right? Like there are things that, like me, for example, I used to love football. I remember one time I told my elder sister, why were you beating in front of my friends? Beat me in the house. I have not followed you beating me in the house. Beat me in front of my friends. Right? So it's not what was done. It is where it was done. It takes honor. It takes your pamarade that you have among your people. It's the same that there are certain things that you cannot do in front of your colleagues. You cannot, as a leader, you cannot do something to a subordinate in front of their colleagues. No, be emotionally intelligent, discipline, yes, counsel, yes, speak, yes, challenge, yes, change, yes, construct, but do it right. Especially in personal and relationships, that's why marriages. I see this happening a lot. which is not good. Number two, their anger is on the driver's seat. People who are emotionally weak, their anger is on the driver's seat. People that they have this dangerous anger. Anger is this kind of anger is the devil packaged from hell and deposited inside of the person. I always say something, I can never marry a person that has anger issues. Never. I better remain single. I always say it very straightforward. Direct. You are on your own. Yeah, that person that your anger is on the driver's seat. No me. That person is like a moving time bomb. That person can embarrass you anywhere, anytime, no thinking at all. And then they will say, it is my anger. That's how I am. Me. Careful. I always say that. Be careful of anybody who says, that is how I am. Take me like that. Very dangerous human being. One sign of a true human being is a growing human being. You have anger issues, work on it. Now, so that my anger, that's how I'm always angry. And you are saying that you are proud about it. You should be sober about it and take steps immediately and start working, because it will embarrass even you. It will take opportunities. It will spoil your relationship. It will destroy you. It can even cause you death. Anger is dangerous. Even the Bible says, be slow to anger. Be slow to anger. Please, if you have anger issues here, learn to work on it. Don't put your anger on the driver's seat. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should not, you should not let people know how you feel, how they hurt you, or if you're in a place of discipline, like you are a boss, for example. Like my team knows me. I can be smiling with you, and you receive a query letter 2 minutes later, or a suspension letter, or a termination letter, like serious. Or I can sorry, and then please come to the office. And in the office, we are dealing with a serious matter there and there. You understand? So it's not about anger. Anger is not quality decision making. Anger is not quality. It doesn't mean that you too overday, like we say on the streets of Africa. You too overday. No, it's for babies. It's babies that get angry anyhow. Yeah, so if you are here and your anger is on the driver's seat of your life, you are emotionally, you're struggling emotionally, you start working on it. And there are two primary ways to work on your anger if you have anger issues. The one that I've seen work a lot for people I've advised is anytime something, because you need to be conscious about it. You need to be the one, you need to be in control of your anger. So anytime something happens, anytime something I want to react, count from 1 to 5 before you react. Not saying I should count aloud, just inside. Whatever is happening, before you respond, count 5 seconds. They call it the 5 seconds rule before you react, or walk away. Just walk away, then come back later. Walking away doesn't mean that the issue has passed. No, because in conflict resolution, walking away does not solve conflicts. Conflicts must be addressed. But getting angry in the midst of conflict does not lead to conflict resolution. So you can walk away, still come back, and let's say, for example, you see your partner cheating against you, or cheating, right? What do you do? Some people just get angry there and then cause a scene. If you see a pig in the mud and you go and try to clean the pig, all of you get dirty. Who looks foolish? Right? You can walk away, but it doesn't mean that you will not address the situation. No, address the situation squarely and maturely and make decisive decisions. That's how you even heal faster. That's how you even move forward faster. Anger is for babies. So outgrow your anger, be in charge, be on the driver's seat. The second way to manage your anger is you can always, and this is one thing that I do a lot. Like I always ask myself, what is the consequences of this decision? Um, not 10 minutes from now, 10 days from now, 10 weeks from now, 10 months from now, all of that. Okay. Number three, the third habit of people that are weak emotionally is they quickly judge people negatively. Yeah. They quickly judge people. You just quickly judge somebody, and mostly negative. You just assume on somebody and you judge them. You don't even understand the person. You don't know who they are really. You just judge them, conclude, and even start hating them. How about work on your emotions? Next thing is you continuously create conflicts instead of solving conflicts. Anywhere you go, you create conflicts. You have weak emotional intelligence. Anywhere they see you, there are some people you're not friends like that. Anywhere they pass, conflicts must pass. Either they gossip, they lie, or they will create problems. They cause conflicts instead of solving problems. One thing about people who are emotionally stable is they always solve problems. They get things sorted out. Okay. The next is they sound so rude. Yes, people with emotional intelligence are always so rude. They sound very, very rude to people. So rude, just the way they talk, so rude. They just speak anyhow, very careless. They carelessly talk. They have this funny tone that they speak. So rude. They don't know how to manage their tone, and depending on where they are. They just speak anyhow, very, very lackadaisically, so careless, just anyhow. Even people that just speak loudly anywhere they find themselves, just speak so loud. No, you are not emotionally intelligent. You need to work on it. There's a place you can raise your voice. There's a place you can speak like a diplomat. There's a place you can speak with a little tone, with some respect and honor. And you know how to play all of these things. It's important in your professional life. Next, people with low emotional intelligence argue over very silly things. They argue over very silly things. Yes. Very little things, they just argue over it. They just, every little thing, they argue over it. Over silly things. They argue over it. Problem. Lastly, they are arrogant. They have this arrogant and self-centered attitude. Arrogant and self-centered attitude. Yes. Yeah. You're just arrogant to people. You're a wife, you're just arrogant to your husband. You're a husband, you're so arrogant to your wife. You're a child, you're so arrogant to your family, to your mom, to your dad. You have a very big problem. This arrogance, especially against elderly people, you have a problem with emotional intelligence. And then you're so self-centered. Everything is me, 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 me. You can even lie and backstab somebody. Me, 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 me. That's one of the daily habits of emotionally weak people. If you find yourself among any of these or something similar, you need to start the process to change. Okay, quickly. Let's look at personal actions you can take to build strong emotional intelligence. Personal actions you can take to build strong emotional intelligence. We started talking about this already, but let me just list them quickly. Number one is self-awareness. Okay, self-awareness. You must be aware of your own emotions and how they affect your thought and your behavior. Very important. Your emotions always affect your two most important assets, your thought, that is your mindset, and your behavior. Be aware of your emotions. How do I act? How do I think when I'm angry? How do I behave when I'm angry? You need to know it so that that is the beginning of change. So after this, go and do a self-analysis. Go and write this practical exercise. Go and do the practical exercise. Go and do it. Go and ask yourself a question. How do I behave? Or how do I think when I am sad, or when I am angry, or when I am happy? How do I behave towards my husband? How do I behave towards my wife? How do I behave towards my colleagues, towards my boss? Okay, self-awareness. You must be self-awareness. Well, you must build self-awareness around your emotions. And how does your emotions affect your thoughts and your behavior? Your thoughts and your behavior. Okay. Number two, self-regulation. Yes. Remember I said recognition without responding is halfway. Recognition without responding is halfway. So when you are aware of your emotions and how they affect your thoughts and your behavior, your next immediate action is self-regulation. How can you be in control and manage your emotions instead of allowing your emotions to control you? So from today, like after going through this deep session on emotional intelligence, how will you start regulating your emotions from today? Okay. Like you can put things in place, like I'm telling you, like for example, let's say among your let's say in your marriage. So okay, you know what? From today, I'll make sure that in all circumstances, I will treat my spouse in humility, respect, and honor. These three things helps me personally. And I think it can help somebody. Or you can use a 5 seconds rule. But you need to find a way to regulate and take charge of your emotions. It's either you control your emotions or they control you. In the workplace or in your business, one of the best things that control your emotions or the emotions in the workplace are policies and core values. Policies and core values. The culture of the business helps to put people in check as far as emotions are concerned. People know that there are certain things that if they do, there'll be trouble. If they do, there'll be trouble. Okay. Number three, practice mindfulness. In simple terms, know how to pay attention to the present moment without judgment. Become more aware of your present emotions. Be mindful. Like right now, if I ask you, what is the state of your emotions right now? Right now, right now. What is the state of your emotions? That's mindfulness. This is one thing I do a lot. I'm always very mindful of right now, what is the state of my emotions? And I know the state of my emotions in the morning, in the afternoon. That's why there are things I don't do in my life in the morning. Because I know the state of my emotions in the morning, I need to focus on productive things to get it done. For example, I don't watch movies in the morning. I watch movies a lot in the afternoon, and I don't watch movies in the evening. That's the funny thing about me. I don't watch movies in the night or in the evening. I watch movies in the afternoon mostly. Because I know the state of my emotion and the state of my mindset. That's the time I can distract myself a bit, then get back to being serious. So I want to watch a movie. Right? Good. Next is seek feedback. Yes, always ask for feedback. You can ask your spouse. Like, let me give an assignment. If you are married or you're in a serious relationship, go and ask your spouse or your partner for feedback. Ask them this simple question. How do I come across emotionally? How do I come across emotionally? Can you describe my emotions towards you? How do I behave to you when I'm happy? How do I behave to you when I'm sad? right? You can do same for your team, for your colleagues. Ask them feedback about you. How do you come across emotionally? Maybe you don't know that you always sound so arrogant when you talk. Maybe you don't know that you always sound so rude when you talk. Maybe you don't know that you always sound so, you're always so full of pride when you talk. This feedback will help you to know where to start working, especially in personal relationship and workplace relationship or business partnership. Make sure, talk to your partner, talk to your colleague, get this feedback, know how you feel, know how they feel, know how they see you emotionally. You'll be surprised at the things you will discover. So say, no, sometimes when you talk to me, I feel like you minimize me. You'll be shocked at something you will hear. Go and do this exercise. You'll be shocked at some things you will hear. Someone say, no, sometimes the way you talk, I feel like you don't value my opinion. You don't value who I am to you. You'll be like, wait, but innocently, according to you, innocently, you have never in your life, felt that the person does not mean anything to you. And this is something that happened to me, so I'm not shy about it. Somebody told me that sometimes you speak to me as if you don't value me. I'm like, what? See, my heart was so broken. And I was totally innocent. But if they did not tell me, I would not know. Okay? So especially, please, especially if you are married here and you're in a serious relationship, go and ask this feedback from your partner. There are some things people shy to talk to you because they don't want to hurt you. But if when you know, you start taking intentional steps, these actions will become better. Okay? Next is build empathy. Okay? Build empathy. Build empathy. It's very important. One thing that will really help you to be emotionally intelligent is your ability to put yourself in the shoes of other people. You always know how to feel for them. Sometimes you apologize to somebody based on, oh, if they said this thing to me, trust me, I would have felt very bad. That's when you can even apologize genuinely and from the place of authenticity. So build empathy. Practice seeing things from other people's perspective. Listen to people to understand their thoughts. Listen to people to understand their feelings. Please build empathy. Build empathy. Before you act swiftly, try to anticipate, oh, if I was in this person's shoe, how would I have behaved? Empathy helped me a lot in my personal relationship because, trust me, I am very strict and like for example, I think I shared this one time here. I'm very strict and I used to be that kind of person or that kind of man that if I'm dating you, like I shared that one time now. In my relationship one time, um, my girlfriend said she's going to a party in the night. I don't do night stuff. I hate till now. Anything night, I am not there. So if you do night stuff, count me out. I mean, except it's really work, I'm training. Most days, if I speak in a hotel or an event, I would like to sleep in that hotel. I don't like, I try to minimize night. I just hate it. It's also from childhood. That's where I took it from. In our house, it was an abomination for you to come back home after 6 p.m. You are in trouble with my mom. So that's where I took it from. See, now I don't know how to keep late night. So I told her, no, don't go. Unfortunately, they had an accident on the way. We were coming back late at night. Trust me, I did not go to the hospital to check on her because I used to have this policy that if I tell you to do something, I do it, you bear the consequences alone. Very bad and too rugged character. I'm saying it because I'm changing now, right? So, and 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 or sometimes you be calling someone, the number is not passing or they are not picking, and why not just do yourself in there? What if their battery is low? What if the phone is missing? What if they're in a meeting? What if this? Before you get angry that they are not like men are so fond of shouting at their wives, because I've seen it several times. Several times. The woman not the ever pick a call. You can call this girl and she picks her phone on time. You hear people just talking. Do you know where she is? Do you know, like, try to empathize before you conclude and shout. Immediately the person picking the call, you are already shouting. Where did you keep your phone? And go, blah, 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 blah. And then those emotions now leave from there. People start feeling disrespected. They start feeling like you don't like them, you don't value them, you don't honor them. And that's how they start building negative emotions against you. And you cannot blame them. You caused it. I am not saying you should not show how you disappointed. No, there's a better way. Like always, something I've learned how to question. See, I can question you in a very calm way. Then I raise my voice. Because I want to make sure that I am shouting at you from the right perspective. Right? So that's empathy. So where was your phone that I've called you 3 times, you did not pick? I'll be very calm. And then if I'm not satisfied, better be careful. Right? So that's empathy. So empathy helps you to build emotional intelligence, especially towards others, especially in closed relationships like marriages, workplace, business partners, and all of that. But again, empathy doesn't mean that you should not solve conflict. You should not be decisive. You should not act accordingly, and all of that. Don't confuse empathy with pity. No. Empathy doesn't mean that you pity means you just pity somebody and allow it. No, there are some things that if you allow and pamper, they will keep happening, and it can lead to disaster or chaos tomorrow. Learn to be decisive, even as long as you empathize, and of course, make decisions or advise. Many a time when I empathize, I advise. If I call you many times, why was your phone on? It's okay, you get a phone, but so silence. If you are in the kitchen, you're in the house, you're not in the meeting, put your phone on loudspeaker or something. Not find it, always be conscious of certain things. Phones are mobile phones, not fixed phones. You after empathy, the truth is that after empathy, there should be action that can lead to growth. Either you advise, either you in a workplace, they can be disciplined. If you're not, they do workplace investigation, you can discipline the staff, whatever, but there should be action. Because if you empathize and you don't act, or you don't speak, or you don't say certain things, they will see that thing should continue. Okay? So it's good somebody also knows that you don't like these things. Like, for example, you have a husband, and you know that they don't like to call you many times, they don't pick. You never know when they need you. Right? And then you come and give a funny excuse, my phone was on silent. For how many hours? Right? So because after you hear some funny excuse, that, but wait, what's wrong? And that's lack of consciousness, lack of and consciousness is a core daily skill for daily living. Consciousness. Avoid being absent-minded on certain things. It can lead to funny stuff happening around us. All right. So that is it. Please, emotional intelligence is important. Act accordingly and make sure that you make some changes as you get into next year and all of that. Day 24 evening, we spoke about one of the sessions. The difference between failure and success is the application of knowledge, not the acquisition of knowledge. Like right now, you have acquired knowledge about emotional intelligence. Successful people after this, they will go and apply right now. Like for example, if you have gone through this session and you were angry with your spouse or partner or friend, all of that, you recognize something, go and respond to it. Go and respond, because somebody who has strong emotional intelligence recognizes and responds. If you recognize and allow it halfway, that is not emotional intelligence. You're weak in that area. Respond to it. If you want to act on them, tell them to apologize to you. You understand? Okay. So who go and address something today? Let me see something. Who go and address something? Go and address somebody today. Go and act. Go and apply knowledge today. Who go and apply this morning? Who go and respond to something this morning? Indicate in the chat box. Let me see. It could be at work. It could be in your personal relationships. It could be with your friends. It could be family. Yes, wherever. Yes, I see somebody say, yes, go and act. That's what successful people do. When they acquire knowledge, they go and apply their knowledge. They go and apply the knowledge. Okay? Yes, go and do that. And of course, you will be amazing. You see, the life application says, list 5 things you have implemented in your life since day 1 of this success devotional. Make the commitment to apply or you have learned. Okay. Yes, please go and apply, and trust me, we're going to see a lot of change and a lot of growth in your life, career, and business. Thank you so much for following, and see you guys tomorrow, same time. God bless you, and take care of yourself.